Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Mike's Indie Corner. On today's episode, we're going to talk about a indie horror game called Spooky's House of Jump Scares. Okay, so Spooky House of Jump Scares. Fucking clever son of a bitch. Like, that's really the best way I can describe the game. Clever fucking bastard. I loved it. I thought, this game is free, by the way. It's perfectly free. It's one of the most clever horror games I've played in years. Okay, I really don't want to talk too much about it, because I can't do it without giving away spoilers. So I'm going to say, if you don't want this spoiled, and if you should go into this cold, stop watching now, go get it, it's free, you have nothing to lose. I'm just going to give the score right now, it's a 9 out of 10, go play it, stop watching this video, go play it. Now, for those who are still here, let me get into why this game, I think, is one of the most clever horror games I have played in a really long fucking time. I mean, possibly years. I mean, granted, I'm not a huge fan of the horror genre, so there's probably a lot of other good examples of horror games that I have not played yet. I'm kind of working my way through the classics, or the most recent classic, I should say. But anyway, Spooky's House of Jump Scares. What makes this game so fucking clever and so fucking creative is two main things. One is the fucking lie that is the entire introductory sequence, and even like the trailer and everything else, that this game tricks you into a false sense of security and then quickly and abruptly rips that rug from under you. It's fucking great. It's fucking brilliant. I love how they did this, because the trailer makes it look like it's this cutesy kind of parody of horror games, like, okay, so it's all kind of cute and stuff, It's clearly making fun of the horror genre, and there's a lot of elements of the game that, yeah, is clearly making fun of the horror genre, as well as paying homage to it in several different ways, but I'll get to that. But what makes the game so clever is that you keep going through these rooms, and a lot of the rooms are exactly the same. It randomly picks like one of the preset templates at random. So you never know quite what room you're going to get, other than chances are you're going to see it 500 times, at least 500 times before you're done. So you go through these rooms like, okay, ooh, these little cardboard monsters pop out of the wall here once with a big boom, like it's trying to scare you, but clearly it's not really trying to. I hope that makes any sense. But anyway, so you work your way through this, and you're like, okay, so now they're still fucking with me, and then you get into a room, and you try to get to the door, but you can't get through the door. Okay, so because it tells you, I should look around first. Like, okay, that's kind of suspicious. What's this giant ink blot on the ground? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go over here and read this note on the ground. That's kind of disturbing. Turn around, big-ass fucking ghost monster heading right towards you. And he's like, oh, hi, is this like another one of those spooky things? No, it can fucking kill you, and it will do so in a horrific way. And that's when you start to panic. It's a great setup. And that just leads into what is easily the most unpredictable games I have played, again, in a very fucking long time. It's not just a great horror game, it's easily the most unpredictable games I've played in a long time. Because every 100 levels, like every 100 rooms or so, you got kind of placed into a new area that has a new monster, or sometimes like monsters from previous sections will come back. But you can kind of get teases of what these monsters are going to be and what order you're going to encounter them in, but what they actually are, and which is explained to like notes you find all over the environment, and what they can do to fuck with you, you have no idea. And even then, some random shit will just come out of fucking nowhere, and you're like, why is this here? What? I'm so confused. Because the brilliant thing about this game is that by having you go through the same levels over and over and over again, thankfully all the rooms are very small, you get through them in a couple seconds, but by doing that familiarity, not only are you dependent on your knowledge of those levels to get away from the different monsters that appear, but it also legitimately catches you off guard and makes you panic when something changes in that room, or you're faced with something completely different out of nowhere that you don't know what to deal with.
Like sometimes, for example, like I'll give one that I ran into a few times, which is when a monster chases me down the hallway, I immediately like sprint towards the nearest door. Usually like there's 2 doors in this room. I go down one hallway, I click on one door, that door is fucking locked. And I turn back around and the monster is like right behind me. So I am fucking screwed, so I have to run through the monster, pray it doesn't kill me on the first hit, and make it to the other door. But that initial sense of panic is so great, and it's something that I have not felt in a video game like this in a long time. Like I said, like all the horror games I've played recently, this is easily my favorite, because of just, again, how creative it is, and how creative the monsters are, and like just how much of a clear homage they're making to like the Rain, or Silent Hill, or Clock Tower, or any of these other great horror games. It's paying homage to all of this stuff, but it's doing its own thing with it too, because a lot of these monsters also have like their unique level sets, like your unique obstacles they throw your way, and unique ways to try to get past them. For example, like I don't want to give too much away. Like, I don't want to say which monster does this, because I feel like that's cheating, but there's one monster in particular that I admittedly I had to skip because I couldn't get past it, which is he randomly makes the doors disappear in the room. So you have to like try to avoid him for a little bit longer until the door reappears and you can get out. But again, the first time you figure that out, it is a pants-shitting, terrifying moment, because like, okay, it's right behind me, I gotta start. Fuck, the door's gone. Okay, where's the door? Where's the door? Shit. And then, meanwhile, the thing's getting closer and closer and closer, and you're like, shit! And you try to get out, but you can't get out because there's no fucking door there. So you're like running around in circles trying to avoid this thing. This one killed me every time. Except one time. I got lucky one time when it reappeared on future levels. I managed to get away from it successfully. I don't know how I pulled it off, but I did. But again, shit like that is why this game is just so clever and so creative, and I loved it. It's not perfect. Again, I always have to say that every time I gush about a game. I was like, okay, I did have some issues with it. That knocks it down from getting a perfect score. Which is, I did feel like, as much as I liked the different obstacles the monster threw your way, and again, just how much it forced you to change up your tactics to get past him, there are, like, some of the tactics, especially in the later monsters, I felt was more than a little cheap. Because sometimes, like, it does kind of feel like it's designed so this thing can kill you easily. And I was really like, sometimes it works, sometimes it's not too bad. Other times it's like, okay, now you're just being a fucking asshole. Again, without giving anything away, chances are you know which monsters I'm talking about when you get to them. But even then, they're still creative enough that I'm willing to look past that. The way they're structured and the way the levels are set up to help you fend off these monsters. Again, it's really creative. And, it really forces you to think, makes you force to, like, take your time while you're simultaneously panicking trying to get away from these monsters, because you're trying to create as much distance between them and you as possible. Sometimes you can't even do that. And it's like, there's so much I really liked about this game. Like, even the final boss fight, and this game does have a final boss fight, is probably my least favorite part of the game. But that being said, it is kind of an homage to the Legend of Zelda series. Again, without giving anything away, and how you beat it, and at the same time, it is very satisfying when you actually do get to kill the fucker. I know I was ecstatic, because I took like 5 or 10 times for me to get it. But this is like one of the few horror games I've played where I can feel myself visibly getting goosebumps as I was playing it. And I was like really fucking tense and really fucking anxious, and it gets all those great adrenaline rush moments you want from a game like this. And again, what makes it even better is that it's completely free. You don't have to pay a fucking thing for this. And that just makes it all the more better. It means that you get this kind of great game for free. And I don't know how this game holds up on, like, I guess it's on 3DS too. I don't know how it holds up on that. I can't speak for this. I played it on the PC. But yeah, absolutely get this game. Because even then, it still has a sense of humor about it. It takes every opportunity to fuck with you. And I love that. That's exactly what you should be getting out of a horror game, because the minute you can predict what's going to happen in a horror game, the game ceases to be scary. Like, that was kind of the case with Dead Space, which is a game I actually liked. But at the same time, I can walk into a room and go, okay, monster's going to pop out there, and I can prepare for it. And that's not what a horror game should do. A horror game should keep you on your toes the entire time. You should never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And even if you do, you should have only the vaguest notion of what it involves.
One other like nitpick gripe I'll say with this game is the fact that there are times like usually the new monster pops in around the 10th level of a certain section, 10th room of a certain section, and especially towards the end, the way you get the monster to appear becomes more and more lengthy, more and more elaborate, and after a while, it makes it really annoying if you happen to die during that segment, because it means you gotta do all of that all over again. Because every time you die, assuming you saved before you get to the next set of 100, you have to start all the way from the beginning of that 100. And that can get irritating, so you a lot of repetition, a lot of annoyances like that. It's not enough to kill the game, but it does get a little frustrating sometimes, like, god damn it. And one other little, again, these are nitpicks. I still love this game. I love what they did with it, and I hope more like games like this come out. Like, it's actually far superior to another game I got a review that's a lot like this called Dungeon Nightmares, which is, I guess, also a free game, but this one takes the ideas that were present in Dungeon Nightmares and does it so much better by using the fact that it has a very cutesy animation style with 2D graphics and stuff like that to make it more scary. It knows how to use its concepts to a full advantage. It's very clever. I loved it. Yeah, like I said, 9 out of 10. Loved it. Great game. I'm going to keep an eye on this developer, see what else they do. In the meantime, like, there's even fucking mini games that, like, are designed to be cutesy and all that stuff, but when you play them are just so disturbing, and it's so gruesome, and so violent, and it's like, it just knows how to subvert all your expectations, and this is, like, a perfect example of subverting the genre, subverting what you can do with it, and I love it for that reason. But I've gushed about this game enough. I think you guys get the idea, so go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. My next review I'm going to do is for Dungeon Nightmares, which I've done a couple Let's Plays for. You can see it in the channel if you want. Now, if you have a game you would like to see reviewed on the show or done a Let's Play of, become a patron on our Patreon page. Only $5 a month, guys. Really cheap stuff. And I review whatever you want, as well as helping us keep going, because between movie tickets and buying these indie games, this stuff does add up, and we really need your help. So please do us that favor and go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/MichaelTheComicNerd and just give anything you can, guys. Anything helps. So thank you all for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next episode of Mike's Indie Corner. Bye, guys.